who again are living with the anxiety of a possible tsunami. Australians stand ready to be good and helpful neighbours should the need arise. Mr President, I wish to record my appreciation for the warm welcome that my husband Michael and I have received since arriving in Manila last night. This is our first official visit to the Republic of the Philippines, and we're both very pleased to be here. I valued greatly our useful discussion this morning about the very warm and wide-ranging partnership between Australia and the Philippines. We discussed the range of our bilateral activities from our development cooperation program, including work on disaster preparedness and response, to security and defence cooperation, in trade and investment, to collaboration in regional and global fora. We also talked about the very important contribution that the Philippine diaspora makes in Australia and about the efforts of Australians who've chosen to live, work and invest in the Philippines. Over the 66 years of our diplomatic ties, the bilateral relationship has matured into one which is both deep and broad, a relationship that is based on shared values and interests, and one which brings tangible benefits to both nations. Working hand in hand with the Philippine government, our development cooperation program has now increased to the point where Australia is the Philippines' largest bilateral grant aid donor. We have aligned our aid program so that it tracks closely with the President's own priorities, with our efforts focused on infrastructure, economic governance and poverty reduction. Even in tragedy, our two countries are linked. As a nation that understands the heartbreak and havoc of catastrophic natural disasters, whether it be cyclones, floods or fires, Australia is committed to continue its work with our Philippine partners to prepare and build community resilience for disasters which strike across the archipelago. May I take this opportunity to add my own condolences to those of the Australian Government for the devastating loss of life and destruction caused by Tropical Storm Sendong's terrible flooding last December. Australia was pleased to offer assistance in the aftermath of this tragedy. In our meeting this morning, we talked about the productive cooperation we enjoy on defence and security matters, and we also discussed bilateral trade and investment ties, which both countries agree has potential to expand. We noted the fact that Australia and the Philippines share many common interests in the region, including to ensure maritime security in accordance with international law and to strengthen economic integration. Indeed, as neighbours in the Asia-Pacific, we cooperate closely in regional and global fora, such as the ASEAN Regional Forum, the East Asia Summit, and the United Nations. I was very pleased to note to the President that the Filipino community in Australia now numbers well over 200,000 and continues to grow. This is a very welcome development. Filipino Australians have made excellent contributions to their adopted nation, including in the fields of academia, the arts, sport and politics, and they play a key role in strengthening the bonds of friendship between our two countries. In closing, it is clear that this is an exciting time in our bilateral relationship. Both parties recognise that although we have achieved much together, there is more that can be done by combining our efforts bilaterally, regionally and globally. Australia looks forward to working with the Philippine government in the years ahead, and we especially look forward to President Aquino's visit to Australia later in the year. Thank you again, Mr President, for the warm welcome and the gracious hospitality that Michael and I have received. Thank you.
Thank you. Your Excellency, Governor General Quintin Bryce, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. On behalf of the Filipino people, again, I cordially welcome Her Excellency Governor General Quentin Bryce, His Excellency Mr. Michael Bryce, and the Governor General's entire delegation. This is Her Excellency's first visit to the Philippines as Australia's Governor General, and we are happy to have them here. I was fortunate enough to gain valuable insights from our discussions today. As we engaged in the discussion of the Millennium Development Goals, I apprised her of the Philippines' progress in addressing the MDGs, particularly in education, health, women, and children, as part of our efforts to ensure that no Filipino is left behind. The Philippines is well on track in reducing the number of Filipinos who suffer from hunger, in bringing down the mortality rate for infants and children under 5 years old, and increasing the number of households who have access to safe water supplies and sanitation facilities, among others. The government is intensifying efforts to accelerate progress in eradicating poverty, in providing universal primary education, and improving maternal health. I was proud to share the significant progress we have made in attaining the 2015 Millennium Development Goal targets, progress that signifies our gratitude to the people and government of Australia, who have been generously providing both technical and financial assistance to our key MDG-related projects and programs through the Australian Agency for International Aid, or AUSAID. In education, I shared with the Governor General our continuing focus to improve school-age children's access to quality education as part of our thrust for inclusive growth. I assured her of the Philippine government's commitment to fully implement the basic education sector reform agenda and kindergarten to 12 years basic education program to attain education for all in 2015. I also took the opportunity again to express our appreciation for the technical and financial assistance extended by the AUSAID to these two programs. I noted that the Philippines is on track in reversing the incidence of malaria and increasing the detection and cure rates associated with tuberculosis by 2015. We informed the Governor General that the Philippine government is implementing the universal health care, which we believe will ensure that we achieve our desire for better health outcomes, fair financing, and a responsive health system for all Filipinos, regardless of economic or social status. The Governor General is recognized around the world not only as a leader of our nation, but also as an individual who has dedicated her life to promoting women's rights. On this note, I proudly related that the Philippines is on track in providing education opportunities for young women and increasing the share of women in wage jobs in the non-agricultural sector. We sought the Governor General's support and cooperation in speeding up the achievement of the Millennium Development Goals for Filipino women, particularly in their economic empowerment, occupational health, and capacities for climate resiliency. For 66 years, the Philippines and Australia have enjoyed a dynamic and fruitful partnership. It is one of the oldest, strongest, and most enduring partnerships in the Asia-Pacific region, rooted upon a firm foundation of trust, positive engagement, and shared values and ideals. We remain committed to this partnership and to further harnessing its strength towards the achievement of the goals that our peoples share with the rest of the community of nations. Thank you. Thank you.
Sa statement ni Governor Bryce, sinabi niya ang pakikiramay sa mga nabiktima ng Bagyong Sendong. Tinawag niyang exciting time ang
Scar will disappear fast.